Well, students, little bit is left about the immune response. I could not complete in my last phase of the class. Okay, so about the primary immune response, I have told you that the action takes a longer period of time. Now, why it takes a longer period of time for the primary immune response is that the antibodies that will be produced will take time to be produced. Okay, so antibody formation will be slow here. So for this reason, the primary immune response is slow. It takes a longer time. Whereas in case of the secondary immune response, the antibody formation will be very fast. Why? What is the reason? Because there are memory cells present. Okay, so there are memory cells present. So when already once the antigens have entered inside your body, no doubt your body will produce the antibodies, but together with the antibodies then memory cells will be produced. So those memory cells, they will remain in your body. Okay, so they will not get destroyed, they will remain in your body. Okay, whereas in case of the secondary immune response, when the same germ enters into the body for the second time or subsequent times, then what will happen? Already memory cells are there. So those memory cells can immediately recognize that that particular antigen has entered inside your body once upon a time. So they can remember, hence the name memory cells. So memory cells will immediately produce antibodies. Large number of antibodies will be produced by the memory cells immediately, and as a result of which what will happen, the secondary immune response becomes very fast. Okay, so here the antibody formation will be slow because your body will take time to produce the antibodies, but here the antibody formation will be very fast. Why? Because the memory cells are already there in your body. Okay, then after that the next point is that the primary immune response takes longer time to establish immunity. Why? Because antibody formation will be slow, whereas the secondary immune response takes a shorter time because the antibody formation will be very fast because of the memory cells. Okay, and what is the last point? That primary immune response, it lives for a very short period of time, but the secondary immune response, it stays or it lasts for a longer period of time. Okay, so this is about the difference between the primary immune response and the secondary immune response. So this is very important, you study this as because you may get question as differentiate between the primary immune response and the secondary immune response. Okay, so you study this very nicely. Now let us study the next topic, and that next topic is what? It is called autoimmunity. Okay, now autoimmunity. First of all, I have already explained about the one of the most important characteristic of the immune system is that, or acquired immune system is that, the body can easily differentiate which one is a self and which one is a non-self. Okay, self is what? Self is its own body cells, its own body, whereas non-self means what? Substance from outside, foreign substance, germs that constitute non-self. Okay, so one of the most important characteristic, or I will say the unique characteristic of the immune system is that the immune system can easily differentiate self from non-self. Is it clear or not? Self means its own body self. Non-self means what? Non-self means the things from outside, the substance from outside, that will be called non-self. Means foreign substances, they constitute non-self. Okay, so once the non-self enters into the self, or once the antigens enter into the body, what the immune system will do, the immune system can make out which one is a self, which one is a non-self, and immediately the immune system will start producing the antibodies, and those antibodies will do what? Will destroy the non-self, the antigens, the germs that enter into the self or into the body. So this is the main function of the immune system. Okay, but sometimes it may so happen that the immune system may make mistake. The immune system may become defective, and it may not be able to differentiate which one is the self and which one is the non-self. Is it clear? I am repeating once again. Sometimes it may so happen that the immune system, it may make mistake, or it may become defective. So when it becomes defective, the immune system cannot make out which one is the self and which one is the non-self. Is it clear? And as a result, what happens? The immune system, it starts destroying its own body self. So it will start destroying its own body self. Is it clear or not? So when the immune system starts destroying its own body cells, then different kinds of abnormalities arise in the body. Okay, so all those abnormalities that arise in the body, they are nothing but disease. So different diseases may be caused in the body. Okay, so the diseases that are caused in the body due to defect in the immune system, that is called what? That is called autoimmune disease. So it will be called autoimmune disease. Is it clear or not? So when the immune system cannot make out which one is the self and which one is the non-self, the immune system will start destroying the self. It will start destroying its own body organs. And as a result, it will lead to malfunctioning of some organs or different organs of the body. So as a result, it will lead to disease in the body, and that disease is called what? Autoimmune disease. Is it clear? And the process is called what? Autoimmunity. Is it clear or not? So the process is called autoimmunity, and the disease caused is called autoimmune disease. Okay, so what happens is that sometimes some tissues of the body, they act, or they become an antigen, or they act like non-self. So in case of autoimmunity, what happens? Some cells, some tissues of the body, they may act as an antigen. Is it clear? So when they act as an antigen, they act as a foreign substance. So what the immune system will do, the immune system will start destroying those tissues, those particular tissues that act as antigen. Okay, so as a result, they destroy those tissues, those organs of the body, leading to a disease that is called autoimmune disease. Is it clear? And the process is called what? Autoimmunity. The process by which the body, the immune system of the body destroys its own body cells is called autoimmunity. Okay, now this autoimmunity, there are two main causes. One is the genetic, the other one is the environmental. Okay, so some of the autoimmune diseases that are caused, it may be genetical. So some defects present in the body, they may get transferred or transmitted to the offsprings. Okay, so those diseases that are transmitted to the offsprings from the parents, those constitutes the genetic factors. Okay, so those constitutes the genetic factors. Okay, now moreover there will be environmental factors also causing autoimmunity, and environmental factors like some kind of drugs. So drugs may cause autoimmunity. Then some kind of uh, and germs entering inside the body, those may also lead to autoimmunity. Okay, now one of the most important factor, or one of the most important point about the autoimmunity is that CRP. So what is CRP? C reactive proteins. So the C reactive proteins, they increase in number. So in case of autoimmunity, you remember that the CRP, that means C reactive proteins, they increase in number. So you'll find that people suffering from autoimmune diseases, they have very high CRP. They have very high C reactive proteins in their body. Okay, so another study has also found that the autoimmunity, it is usually caused due to increased helper T cells and decreased suppressor T cells. Okay, so helper T cells, suppressor T cells, these are the different kinds of T lymphocytes. T lymphocytes, I have explained that they are of three types. What are they? Killer T cells, helper T cells, and suppressor T cells. In case of autoimmune disease, the helper T cells increase abnormally. The helper T cells increase abnormally. Okay, so when the helper T cells will increase abnormally, what will happen? What is the function of the helper T cells? The function of the helper T cells is to help the B cells to produce the antibodies. More antibodies will be produced by the immune system, and those antibodies will start attacking the tissues, the organs of the body, leading to disease, autoimmune disease. Similarly, there is decreased suppressor T cells. Suppressor T cells, you have also studied what? That the function of the suppressor T cells is to sometimes suppress the immune system. The immune system, it may sometimes become hyperactive. It may start destroying its own body cells. I have already explained about this. Immune system, sometimes it may become hyperactive. So suppressor T cells that are present, what they do? They will suppress the immune system so that the immune system does not destroy its own body cells. Is it clear? So what it is seen in case of autoimmune disease is that there is increased helper T cells and there is decreased suppressor T cells. So suppressor T cells will be less in number. They cannot act on the immune system, and as a result, the immune system starts producing the antibodies, more and more antibodies, and those antibodies, they start destroying the own body cells, leading to disease, which is called autoimmune disease. So very, very interesting. So study this autoimmunity. Is very important. You may get a question, what is autoimmunity? Give two examples. Now, what are the examples? You see, so many. I've written the name of the autoimmune diseases. The first one is what? The Addison's disease. So Addison's disease, it is a disease caused due to inactivity of the adrenal gland. So adrenal cortex, the adrenal cortex, it may become destroyed. So when the adrenal cortex becomes destroyed, the cortisol hormones, aldosterone hormones, which are secreted by the adrenal cortex, they cannot be produced, leading to disease which is called Addison's disease. Then diabetes type 1, not type 2. Remember, type 1 diabetes. Okay, so diabetes type 1, this is also an autoimmune disease where the pancreas cells, especially What cells? The insulin producing cells. That means the beta cells, they become destroyed. The beta cells of the islet of Langerhans producing insulin, they become destroyed. And as a result, the beta cells cannot produce insulin, leading to increase in high blood sugar level, and that disease is called diabetes mellitus type 1. Then there is Graves' disease, autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Now this hemolytic anemia means what? The RBCs become destroyed, leading to anemia. So that is called autoimmune hemolytic anemia. Hashimoto's thyroiditis. This is when the thyroid glands becomes destroyed, leading to Hashimoto's disease. Multiple sclerosis. So this is a disease that is caused in the nerves. The myelin sheath becomes destroyed. You have studied about the nerve cell. The nerve cell, the longest part of the fiber of the nerve cell is called axon. The axon is surrounded by what? It is surrounded by myelin sheath. That myelin sheath becomes destroyed, leading to disease called multiple sclerosis. So it is a disease of the nervous system. Myasthenia gravis, disease of the muscle. Muscle cannot work. Pernicious anemia, another kind of anemia. Rheumatic fever, rheumatoid arthritis, chronic hepatitis. The liver cells, they become destroyed, so leading to disease which is called chronic hepatitis. Vitiligo. Then inflammatory bowel syndrome or disease. So these are the different kinds of autoimmune diseases. Okay, so you may get a question, what is autoimmunity and what name 2 examples of autoimmune disease. So any of these you can write. Okay, so this much for today.